Hello ladies and gentlemen, Tevaron here, and welcome back to some more Magic Arena gameplay. Today we are going to be playing 4-color Sifter Wurm, a deck piloted by Eric Fairchild to a 15th place finish at US Nationals. It's sort of a ramp control strategy that looks to go long and go over the top of the opponents with powerful late game spells. Integral to that strategy are our ramp cards. The deck runs a playset of Gift of Paradise, Hour of Promise, and Spring to Mind. All of these cards not only ramp us, but each have added value, gaining us life in the case of Gift of Paradise, putting out 2/2 zombies in the case of Hour of Promise, and Spring to Mind can be cast from the graveyard later in the game to draw extra cards. Also important to remember that Hour of Promise can fetch out any lands that we want, not just basics. Before we move on, it's also important to note that Aftermath cards, like Spring to Mind, count both halves of the card when calculating converted mana cost, so CMC 9 in this case. It may not be immediately obvious why I'm mentioning that, but bear with me, it will shortly become clear, I promise. Also on the ramp front, and again serving a dual purpose, is Thematic Compass, fetching us up basics and then flipping into Spires of Orazca to play defense. So now that we've established the ramp setup, let's talk about the namesake of the deck, Sifter Wurm, a massive 7-mana 7/7 with trample. Also, when it enters play, you scry 3, then reveal the top card of your library and gain life equal to that card's converted mana cost. That's why the split cards counting both halves is so important. The massive life gain this deck can generate is more than a lot of aggressive decks can overcome. Still, 7 mana is a lot. How do we survive to be able to cast it? Well, a couple of different ways actually. Firstly, on our best draws, we can actually cast the Wurm on turn 5. Gift of Paradise, gaining 3 life, or Spring to Mind on turn 3, into Hour of Promise on turn 4, also potentially netting us a couple of blockers, lets us cast Wurm on turn 5. Failing that, we are also running a bunch of removal. 4 Hour of Devastation help us keep go-wide strategies in check, while also dealing with Hazoret and other gods by removing their indestructible text, and often outright killing planeswalkers as well, all while not actually killing our own Sifter Wurms if they happen to be out on the battlefield. A pair of Heaven to Earth play the role of sweepers 5 and 6 in the deck, though against most opponents we will need to cast Heaven for 0 to get access to the usually much more relevant Earth half of the card, but since it's an instant, that isn't too big a deal since we can do it for a single green mana on the opponent's end step and not telegraph that a sweeper is coming next turn. For spot removal, we have 2 each of Cut to Ribbons and Struggle to Survive. Just as with the other split cards, these have added utility, with Ribbons serving as a win condition in the late game, and Survive being a great way to end graveyard shenanigans by just getting rid of the graveyards. Lastly, we have 2 each of Commit to Memory and Consign to Oblivion, giving answers to troublesome permanents and spells on the stack, and if the opponent is light on cards in hand, Consign to Oblivion can also be a removal spell, bouncing a card and then making them discard it, while Memory can let us reload in the late game when we have roughly infinite mana on board, hopefully drawing powerful spells to leverage that mana. The mana base in this deck is just as important as the non-land cards to our game plan because many of our lands do other things in addition to producing mana. Hashep Oasis, for instance, allows us to push through extra damage to finish off planeswalkers or our opponents. All the deserts in the deck also serve as fodder for each other's activated abilities. Ipnu Rivulet serves as a way to get rid of things that we have committed back into our opponent's library, or as a win condition in and of itself, allowing us to mill the opponent out. We have Scavenger Ground as an additional and reusable way to put a check on graveyard strategies. It's also very nice that all these lands are fetchable as needed with Hour of Promise. Then throw a couple of cycling deserts into the mix so that we have more resources to be used by our other deserts, or just to cycle for more relevant cards if we don't actually need them for that purpose. We are also running a few non-desert utility lands in the form of Arch of Orazca, Field of Ruin, and Memorial to War. As you may guess, it's very easy to get the City's Blessing in this deck, and what better way to use all that surplus mana than drawing extra cards? Field of Ruin and Memorial to War serve a similar function of dealing with problematic opposing lands, with Memorial also counting as a red source, and in certain circumstances, being able to kill a land without letting the opponent fetch up a replacement can be very important. Then we have the strictly mana-producing portion of the lands, Rootbound Crag, Hinterland Harbor, and Spirebluff Canal for fixing. With green being the most represented color in the deck, we want most of our duels to be able to produce it. And in the way of basics, we have 4 forest, and 2 each of mountain and island. Oh yes, also 1 lonely swamp. Moving on to the sideboard, we will see some very interesting cards, such as the Mirari Conjecture, allowing us to rebuy our powerful instants and sorceries and then double cast them. This card generally comes in versus control decks. Also for control matchups, a playset of Negate and a pair of Nissa, Steward of Elements, as a planeswalker that can come down early and begin generating value, or be cast in the late game for enough that she can immediately ultimate and serve as a 10-point direct damage spell. Then for the aggro matchups, we have additional spot removal in the form of Shivan Fire and Ether Meltdown, and Walking Ballista, serving a dual role as it's often good versus mini decks, control and aggro alike. All that being said, sideboarding is not a thing that I have mastered with this deck by any means, so expect mistakes to be made. And so, on to the games. Alright, well this is unfortunate. Can't keep a 1-land hand. That looks a bit better. Yeah, we'll keep this. And we'll push that to the bottom, hoping to draw a non-painful green source. So what we're hoping to play against is aggro and mid-range. Looks like that's what we're up against. That's this deck's bread and butter. Not that it can't beat control, though it has a much harder time, and the deck itself is quite slow. So we're just hoping not to face those because we don't want to have any 50-minute long matchups here, hopefully. Alright, that's a lot of 1-drops. Hopefully our Gift of Paradise will net us enough life to get to Hour of Destruction. Alright, that's nice. Get to go to Thematic Compass. At least we're casting something this turn, even though it's not doing anything for a while. Unfortunately, too, unless we draw a basic, we're going to have to put a Gift of Paradise on one of these. Not that the red decks run Field of Ruin very often, but in general you want to put Gift of Paradise on a basic so that it can't get Field of Ruined. Alright, we're not at too low a life total, and opponent's stuck on 2. Again, unfortunately, we're going to lose 1 life gain here. We'll put it on the Scavenger Grounds, since we have to pay a life to cast that. If we top deck a land next turn, we can untap into Hour of Devastation. And if not, we'll just cast another Gift of Paradise. This time gaining the full 3, since we have a non-painful green producer now. Alright, getting attacked. That Bomat Courier's getting a lot of cards in under it. Maybe they'll tap out, and we'll get to draw land and Hour of Devastation. Nope, they're going to discard their hand and draw some cards. Their hand was stacked, except they had not the lands to cast that stuff. Well, there's a Sunscorched Desert. Anything else? Carry Zev, come on, untapped land. That is not what that is. So we're taking 3, 4, 5 for sure next turn. So absolutely going to Gift of Paradise here. That gives us 2 mana, which we don't actually have anything to do with, but at least we have Hour of Devastation mana now. Maybe they'll be so kind as to play something else post-combat. Seems like that is not the case. That's 6 mana. Yeah, I think we just don't play around. We have to Hour of Devastation. At least buy us some time, since we've had trouble hitting our land drops. If we top deck another land, we can Sifter Wurm. Oh. Well, apparently we don't need to do that. Hour of Devastation was enough. Alright, fair enough. Well, we certainly want Shivan Fires in this matchup. We want Ether Meltdowns. We may want Walking Ballista too. Let's just see what we're going to be taking out first. Don't think we're going to be bringing in Walking Ballista. Think we're going to be taking out Consign to Oblivion. It's okay-ish, it delays them, but I think just the straight-up removal is better. Actually think we're going to take out Commit to Memory. We actually have decent ways to deal with cards like Hazoret and Chandra in the form of Hour of Devastation. And then I think we're also going to take out one Struggle to Survive, because it's a bit high in cost for a spot removal spell. The rest of this seems fine. Yep, let's submit this. Alright, opponent is mulliganing. We are definitely going to keep this. This hand is really good. Alright, no 1-drop. That's even better for us. So we'll go Rootbound Crag, just in case we don't draw a forest or a mountain to let it come into play untapped. Alright, there's a Bomat Courier. A turn late. That is quite good for us. Hour of Promise, sure. We'll go Island and pass. Next turn we get to gain some life. Ramp ourselves a little bit. Hopefully we'll draw another land to play the following turn. And then we can Hour of Promise into Sifter Wurm. Right, just the Courier, nothing else? Yeah, that is super good for us. Well, that is not exactly the type of land I meant. Guess I should have been more specific. We'll put it on a basic when we can. And now I am hoping for an untapped mana source so that we can play Hour of Promise next turn. Game? Please? I mean, if not, we can still play the desert and struggle something. Probably the Courier, I guess. Alrighty then. Well, that is unfortunate, but we'll take it. Alright, well, we have no green mana in this hand. Maybe we should keep it just hoping to draw one. If we draw any other land, we can fix our mana with Field of Ruin as long as the opponent has some non-basics. Yeah, we're going to try this. I think it's probably a mistake. We should probably mulligan this, but hopefully we'll get there. Alright, Forest into Elf. So Heaven to Earth should be pretty good here if we can get some green mana. Desert is actually nice. So let's play that, and that will turn on Cut for us. So at least if they go land into Steel Leaf Champion here, we have an answer to it. Alright, well there's the land. There's the Steel Leaf Champion. So gonna feel real good about this. A second cut is awesome too. Let's go ahead and get our Field of Ruin out there, I suppose. Deal with this bad boy. And now what I would like is for a forest next turn. Let's just be super specific about the land we're asking for. I want literally a forest. Alright, well, opponent is taking a very long time every single turn. I think they may be playing while distracted with something else. Well, there's Scrappy Boy. They don't have black mana to bring it back yet, though. Alright, very funny game. Just kidding. Thank you for the green. Wish it was a forest like I asked for, but that should be fine. Let's go ahead and Gift of Paradise. I'll put it on the desert this time, I suppose. So next turn we can Hour of Promise, and then the turn after we'll have Sifter Wurm mana. Gain our life. Alright, there's another Steel Leaf Champion, so we could actually take the turn off ramping to kill that. So we'll take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 next turn. See, we could Heaven and then Earth for 2 and kill these while leaving the champion out. I think we need to kill some stuff. I think if we leave this board as it is, there's a chance that they'll untap and play Galta. So the thing that prevents the most damage is just cutting the Steel Leaf Champion. Also takes the most power off the board, so we'll do that. Plus, the zombies we get from Hour of Promise can block these two. Just really important at this point for me not to let them get a Galta out next turn. Alright, making their land drop still. There's a Kinra. Take 5/6 here. Yep, you got it. Yep. That definitely hurts. I think I'm going to pitch Heaven into the yard. Yep, cast it for 0. And I know I keep saying we're going to play Hour of Promise, but again, if they have another Kinra in hand, if this is Kinra plus Galta, they can Galta next turn, so we need to Earth for 2. Actually, we should probably play around Blossoming Defense. It's fine. We'll Earth for 2. And again, they don't have black mana to recur the Scrap Heap, so that's good for us. They're also 2 mana off recurring Resilient Kinra. Alright, they did have a defense. So again, I could have played around that by playing the land and going for the full boat, but I would like to resolve our Thematic Compass this turn. So now they're only 1 land off of recurring Resilient Kinra, since they got to keep their elf. Well, there's black to recur the Scrap Heap. I think that's going to be okay-ish. They can't do it this turn. They can bring Kinra back next turn, but it doesn't have haste. Yeah, we need to Hour of Promise now. And we need 1 more desert to get our zombies, so we'll get Arch of Orazka. And we'll get Scavenger Ground. Now we'll flip our compass also. And now I think we're in really good shape to win this game. Alright, opponent reanimating their Scrap Heap Scrounger. Going to our turn. And let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we got more than enough. I think we're going to go to combat. We're going to attack with one of these zombies. Well, looks like opponent is going to burn their full timer again. At least it gives us the turn back and we get to finish our attack there. So we are going to Sifter Wurm here. Thank you for leaving our Spires untapped. That's what I wanted. Oh, or not. I thought it said it was leaving them untapped. Must have misinterpreted that. Well, I think we do want the Struggle. That will gain us a lot of life. We'll put the other 2 on the bottom. And then we will end the turn. Alright, another Scrap Heap. That also cannot block. So perfectly fine by me. Alright, are you representing double Blossoming Defense? I think we're just not going to block. I think there's a good chance we can actually kill the opponent next turn. With ribbons in the graveyard here. So let's go to combat. And attack. Alright, no blocks. To 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. We will ribbons. For 7. And that's the game. Alright, we want Shivan Fire here. I think we want Ether Meltdown. I think I'm actually more inclined to bring in Walking Ballista in this matchup. Elves are very important to kill if we can. Again, I don't think Consigned to Oblivion's particularly good here. I mean, I don't think Consigned to Oblivion's very good in many matchups that I've played so far, but then again, you know, very well could be wrong about that. Get rid of Commit to Memories. Think Cut to Ribbons and Heaven to Earth are fine. Think we will cut one Thematic Compass here. Cut one Spring to Mind. And actually, we'll cut one Struggle to Survive too. Keep it in as a hedge against a Galta. And we'll submit this. Well, this hand is absolutely horrible. We'll ship it back. Huh. If we draw 2 lands, this hand is great. We're on the draw, we get a scry. Let's try it. Nope, you go to the bottom. We may just brick off and die here, but I think it's worth the risk. As they say, it's impossible to lose by mulliganing to 5 if you just never mulligan to 5. Alright, no elf on the first turn. That was excellent. Can we get another one, please? Alright, no critter there either. Think we'll play out a Ballista for 1. Still got one more turn to draw a land. Untapped mana, please. Any untapped mana I will take. Come on, game. Give it to us. Alright, there's a Ronus. So one would assume they've got a Still Leaf Champion to play next turn. That's not a land. Let's play our other Ballista out, I guess. And Ronus can't block, so I suppose we'll get in there for 1. Yep, there's the Steel Leaf. At least we can block Ronus. He doesn't trample. Yeah, we will do that. Then shoot them. And still begging for an untapped land. That's not what that is. Pass it back. Alright, here they come. Again, gonna block Ronus. We can't block Champion, but even if we could, Ronus can give it trample with his pump ability, so go ahead and shoot him in the face again. Alrighty. Looks like they're not going to pump. Probably means they're going to play another huge monstrosity. Well, there was about a minute and a half there where opponent was playing at a reasonable pace this game. That seems to have ended now. Alright, not playing anything. I think we're going to pitch this Heaven into the yard just to hedge. Because if we draw an untapped land, our mana is going to be occupied next turn. Yeah, that's just game. We can't come back at this point. We're going to go to game 3. I still think our configuration is fine-ish. Again, not an expert at sideboarding with this deck, so this could be very, very wrong, but hopefully it'll get the job done. Alright, we're on the play this turn. We don't have any ramp, but I think this hand is perfectly reasonable with Shivan Fire being able to kill a first-turn elf, so we'll keep it. Hopefully we'll draw some ramp and some of our bigger spells as we go on. Alright, we'll lead off on Mountain, planning to kill an elf if they play it. Alright, no elf. That's a little disappointing there. So we could play a 1-power Ballista, but I think we're just going to play a land and pass. Would like our Ballista to be a bit bigger. Alright, nothing from the opponent. Interesting. Well, that's good for us. Let's go ahead and Thematic Compass. Maybe they're planning on Ronus. Maybe they're planning on Ronus into Champion again. I think we're a little bit better equipped to handle that this game. Alright, there's Ronus again. Go to our turn. So we don't have enough to kick this yet. So I think what we're going to do is Compass. We're going to get another red so that we can hold up Shivan Fire just in case they play not Champion. And that way that will also hide the fact that our hand is mostly land. Alright, another cemetery. Into Doomfall. Sure. Guess you're not really doing anything else? Well, take that off in case they don't take the Shivan Fire and then play out a Llanowar Elf. Nope, they take the Shivan Fire. Well, Ronus didn't hit us in the face, so that's awesome. Sifter Wurm's nice. Well, they know our hand, so no point in dissembling. Let's go ahead and play out Hashep Oasis. Well, Thematic Compass. I think we want another green source that doesn't hurt us here. And then we're going to play Ballista for 1. Because I can't imagine that we're going to have another turn that they pass by without attacking us with Ronus, and I would like to be able to block it. Alright, Blooming Marsh. That's good, because if they had an untapped mana plus either Heart of Kirin or Resilient Kinder here, they could have Galted this turn, but the tapped mana takes that off the board. So getting attacked. And we will definitely block. Maybe we shouldn't have brought in this Ballista, but this has been a pair of kind of weird games. I think in general it is probably pretty good versus this deck. Gift of Paradise is really nice. So let's play out our Forest. Then we will gift onto, I think that's one that's not going to tap. Alright, gain some life there. Then we can also, let's leave up the red just as a bluff. They don't know what this Sifter Wurm is, I think. And then we'll get a second blue. And next turn we can Sifter Wurm. Hopefully we're not going to see Galta come down this turn. Well, there's Nissa, so that's 15 damage coming at our face.
The land fights for us.
Yep, nothing we can really do about that. Spring. No, I think we are definitely on the Sifter Wurm train here. So we will do that. Let's tap that, go back into my hand. Let's tap that Oasis, please. Yep, that's fine. Heaven to Earth gains us 3. That's not great. I actually don't really want any of these. I want something better, so let's go blind. Another Sifter Wurm. That is perfectly fine. Flip our compass. That helps us out a lot. Quick heads up here. From this point until the end of this particular match, the rest of the commentary is going to be in post due to some technical difficulties in the audio recording. Regular commentary will resume in the next match. Alright, well, we are certainly glad that that thing came down after we already had our compass flipped. Resilient Kinra? Sure. That can potentially help them push through some more damage. We do still have our Spire untapped, though, so that helps. Alright, going aggro with Nissa here. Everything coming at us, so we could block the champion. However, if they have a Blossoming Defense, then the champion will eat our Wurm, and that's not something I want, so I think we're going to block the land. If they have a Blossoming Defense, we still lose the Sifter Wurm in this exchange, but at least they lose the land too, and we also can Spires on the Steel Leaf champion, and only take 5 this turn, which is very, very good for us. There's our Sifter Wurm that we left on the top. Go ahead and put out this Arch to get the City's Blessing in case we need to draw lands later on. Then we definitely go for second Sifter Wurm here. Hopefully hitting something with a lot of casting cost, and also something relevant to the current board state would be awesome. Yes, Hour of Devastation sounds awesome. Don't think we need a second Thematic Compass. So we can pretty much wipe the board next turn and leave our stuff alive. I would very much like to be able to attack Nissa here, but I think that that is a bad decision. So we are just going to play defense, planning to Hour of Devastation next turn. Alright, Walking Ballista. Well, that puts a little bit of a crimp in our plan, as they can use the Walking Ballista to kill one of our Sifter worms
I shall listen.
in response to the Hour. So they go ahead and emblem Nissa. Guess that's because they know that we're going to kill Nissa no matter what next turn. So we'll go Hour of Devastation here. And they don't use the ballista.
I will endure.
Okay, we swing for 14 then. That was very good for us. I'm not certain our opponent's actually here anymore. Maybe it's just timing itself out and not doing anything, or maybe they were just away and they didn't have enough timer left. I don't know. I'm very, very confused. But that's the game. So great. Okay, this is a great hand. We will certainly keep it. We've got Compass into Spring to Mind, into activating Compass, or maybe even Commit. Hour of Devastation's definitely on the table. We want to lead off with the Desert since it comes into play tapped. Alright, looks like we may be up against aggro again, which, as I said, is exactly what we want to be facing. Sifter Wurm's perfectly fine too. We can draw a few more lands and or ramp cards, that would be awesome. Alright, let's see what opponent's up to here. Alright, double red, that seems to speak to me of aggressive. Could be wrong. Yes, we're getting our Compass abraded. Okay. Would love to have kept it around, but that's perfectly fine. We got another one. See how you like that, opponent. For now, though, we're going to cast Spring. And I do think we're going to get an island so that we can cast this Commit. Untapped land off the top would be awesome, so that we can play and activate Compass next turn. Alright, they are aggressive. There's an Earthshaker. Feel like, though, we're not too bad a shape when they're dealing their first damage to us on turn 4. Yep, let's go with Compass. And we'll wait to activate it just to bluff that we actually do have something to play. Another Kinra. We have to get a mountain with this so that we can Hour of Devastation next turn. Just going to activate this, just so that we can stop having to go through priorities. Hour of Promise, that's tempting. Actually think we are going to play Hour of Promise here. So we need one more. Let's see, tap you please. And you. We need one more desert to get our zombies. So let's get Arch and Scavenger Ground to get rid of those Kinras when they finally go to the yard. Flip our Thematic Compass too. Puts us in great shape here. So do you want to attack, opponent? Apparently not. It's probably a good idea. I assure you that if you had attacked, I would definitely have blocked. So let's go attacking ourselves now. Alright, getting in for 4. We're going to manually tap our lands because I want to leave this Spires up. And actually tap the Rivulet. Play out Sifter Wurm. Hopefully we'll hit something good here. And opponent doesn't even wait to see it resolved. They have had enough. Okay, for sure, again, Shivan Fire. Meltdown. Consign's just a little bit too slow. I think Commit to Memory's a little too slow. I think we'll cut both the Struggle to Survives and bring in one Walking Ballista. Again, sideboarding with this deck for me is a work in progress. Hopefully this is somewhere close to correct. This hand is horrible. Ship it back. I mean, it's not great. We probably just get run over with this hand. Again, though, I don't like mulliganing. Again, though, I really don't like mulliganing to 5, so... Oop, yeah, that's great. Rewarded. Thank you very much, deck. As we said, you lose absolutely 0 games from mulliganing to 5 if you never mulligan to 5. Bomat Courier, sure. Much better start for our opponent this game. So we're almost certainly going to be on the train of cycling this desert, so we'll lead off with a forest. Alright, no Earthshaker Kinra, that's awesome for us. How about Karizev? Nope, Soulscar Mage, okay. And another one, that's a lot of 1-drops. Can we get an Hour of Devastation, please? No? Alrighty then, well, I think we'll go Island and play out Compass. I could cycle this, but I would rather get the Compass out since our mana is going to be occupied next turn. Alright, taking 3 for sure here. Down to 15. There's Karizev. So 3, 4, 5, 6 coming at us next turn. Luckily we can gain some life this turn, so let's do that. Put that on the island. And now if we draw an Hour of Devastation, we can actually cast it next turn. That's what my fingers are crossed for, deck. Hour of Devastation off the top. Alright, Bomat getting a whole lot of cards in under it. Alright, looks like 6 is it. So no Lightning Strike from the opponent to prowess their Soulscar Mages there. Hour of Promise, you say? Well, that's not quite as good as an Hour of Devastation, but we will certainly take it. So we'll play out our Oasis, so that we only have to get one more desert. Cast our Hour of Promise. Again, we'll get Arch of Arazka. And I suppose, again, we'll go ahead and get Scavenger Grounds, just in case of needing to get rid of graveyards. So we get to flip our Compass next turn no matter what. We may not end up cycling this after all, because if we tap this to go fetch a land, then when it flips it'll still be tapped. So we may just play this next turn. No, we've got a Spring. Never mind. Never mind, I'm silly. Chain Whirler, sure. Those are itty-bitty zombies now. Right, opponent not willing to risk their Bomat Courier, so we're going to double block on one of these Soulscar Mages to kill it. Taking 4 and going to 7. Again, Hour of Devastation would be an awesome draw. That's not what that is. I think we have to cut this guy. So let's play our Swamp. Go ahead and play Cut on you. Get you off the board. Then we will Spring. And we'll grab an island. And we will pass. And flip our Compass. And actually, now that I think about it, cutting that guy might have been the wrong play. Might have been better to cut Karizev, because we can easily Spires the Goblin. Whereas with Karizev, even if we Spires her, the monkey's still attacking. Yeah, that was probably a mistake. Actually, a pretty bad mistake. Well, there's another Chain Whirler, so our zombie's going bye-bye. Opponent going to attacks. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Could just be dead here no matter what we do. Right, triggers. Sadly, the thing that represents the most damage is the monkey, so we're going to be using spires on it. Yep. We'll take that damage. Go into 3. Very likely just dead here. Think we're going to cycle this desert even though it's going to cost us a life. If they've kept shocks in, then, so be it. That's just the way it is. Yeah, that's not a good draw for us. Need our Sifter Wurm. Yep, that clears the board, though we could still just be dead. So yeah, we'll do this to 0. Then got 2 red. We need to do it for 3, so 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and sweep all those critters into the graveyard. Alright, drawing 5 cards off of Bowmat. Yep. As I said, still very likely dead here. Was hoping they would forget to pop that, but not the case. Just hold the mountain as a bluff. Not that I think it matters. If they've got what it takes to kill us, they're just going to go for it. Alright, well that's not going to do it, at least this turn. Take our turn back. Gift of Paradise, that helps a little bit. Say 1, 2. Let's put that on this island. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we can cast Mind. Let's play this mountain out and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cast Mind. Alright, well, if we can live till next turn, we have a shot. There's a Bowmat Courier, sure. We will absolutely spires this Rekindling Phoenix. Down to 4. Holy moly, we got another turn. Alright, we'll play our Oasis. We'll go tapping our own mana manually. Alright, that's 7. Sifter Wurm, please find us a big spell. Second Sifter Wurm would be perfect. That's not what any of that is. Huh. Do we bottom them all, or do we keep the compass on top? I think we've got to bottom them all. Hour of Promise, that is great. Awesome. Let's end our turn. That gives us some breathing room. Don't want to cast Spring there, because that would shuffle away the Hour of Promise. Sure. Right, so the question is, do we kill Kinra or do we kill Bomat Courier? I think we kill Kinra, and then we can Scavenger Grounds it away. Lock there. Go ahead and Spires on the Phoenix. Going down to 8. So we are absolutely obligated to use Scavenger Grounds this next turn. Went ahead and popped the Bomat now. They had lands in hand, that's understandable, and they concede. Wow, did not expect to come back and win that game. That is for sure. Alright, so we're on the play. I think this hand is actually pretty good as long as we draw a 3rd mana in time to cast Gift, so we'll keep it. If it could be a mana that doesn't hurt us and is green in color, that would be awesome. Lead off with our Oasis, the one on the right. It's better than the one on the left. Alright, looks like green again. Stompy probably. Could be Constrictor or something like that though. Well, not exactly what we asked for, but that's fine. We'll go ahead and play out Compass. Second elf, okay. Well, 2 elves aren't nearly as scary as Elf into Steel-Leaf Champion, so that's good. That's really good. Well, we can't actually pull it off this turn, so we have to Gift of Paradise here. Oh, nope. Sorry, was trying to tap for mana. Target the mountain, please. There we go. Ballista, sure. So an untapped land would let me sweep their board this turn. There it is. I think we should do that. Green, put you in the graveyard. Yes for 0. I promise that's exactly what I want. Then we will Earth for 2. Take 2 off of that Ballista, but I think that's worth it to clear all this off the board. Yep. Go into 17. Really set back both their aggression and their mana production here, though. Ooh, another Ballista, this time just for 1, though. A lot less scary. Hour of Devastation's great. Let's go ahead and activate Compass. I think we're going to get another Mountain, so that we can struggle if we want to. And we'll end the turn. Alright, 4 mana. If they go to pump this Ballista, I'll struggle it in response. Yeah, let's not let you get another counter, please. Also got them to spend all of their mana and do nothing else this turn. Not that it's for certain they had anything else to do, but still. Right, Spire Bluff Canal. Got 5 lands out. Let's activate you. Let's get another forest this time. And Even though it gives away information, we'll play out the Spire Bluff Canal and pass. And apparently they didn't have anything to do with 4 mana. Good to know. There's the forest they know about. Let's go ahead and play out a gift. Put it on another mountain. Then we will compass and get an island. And in the turn, flip our compass. Next turn we got Sifter Wurm, and that may just trigger a concession. Alright, so it is Constrictor. They did not have any of their black mana. Well, let's... Oh, well, I misclicked there. I wanted to go to their end phase and kill that thing. That was a mistake. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we can actually still struggle this thing and cast our Wurm. So let's do that. Don't want to give them a chance to put a bunch of counters on stuff. Cast our Sifter Wurm now. And we will keep another Sifter Wurm on top. Okay, Ballista for 2, that's fine. We don't want to Hour here, because then they can kill our Sifter Wurm with their Ballista. Let's attack first. Right, down to 13, we'll play our other Wurm out. And we'll just chain Wurm into Wurm into Wurm. Hello, opponent. Do you have time to talk about our Lord and Savior Sifter Wurm? Gear Hulk? Sure. Right, go to our turn. So, we can attack with both here. They could block here, block here. Then our would kill this, but both of our Wurms would die in the process. We could cast the other Wurm. See, we've got exactly enough mana to do that. I think we are going to attack. We also could have popped Haship Oasis. Right, choosing to do that. So we get 7 through. They're down to 6. Let's go ahead and Hour of Devastation. Let's tap intelligently though, game, please. So that we can still cast our Wurm afterwards. Thank you. So almost certainly going to shoot our Sifter Wurm here with the Ballista. Yep. Okay, then we can play our third Sifter Wurm. And not quite find our fourth one, but commit will do. That's another Gear Hulk. But commit says bye-bye to that. And swinging in for lethal. Good game, opponent. Alright, so again, we're going to be bringing in Shivan Fire. We're going to be bringing in Ether Meltdown. Taking out Consign to Oblivion. Actually, with Gear Hulks in that deck, we might want to keep Commit to Memory in. Struggle to Survive, though, may just be sufficient to deal with those. We'll have to be picky about them. So I guess we'll cut a Sifter Wurm. And the 2 Commit to Memories. We may regret that. I don't think we want Ballista. Yeah, this seems fine. Alright, yeah, we will definitely keep this. This is a pretty good hand. We're basically just a Sifter Wurm away from actually being able to cast Sifter Wurm on turn 5. Alright, Adventurous Impulse from opponent. Getting a Ranger, sure. And another Elf. Well, maybe it would have still been good to bring in Ballista. We'll go with Forest. There's the Jade Light. Another Elf. They'll probably mill that. Yep, Branch Walker. How about that? How you feel about the Branch Walker? Nope, not good enough either. Alright, there's Hour of Devastation. That may be our play next turn instead of Hour of Promise. So let's go Swamp into Gift. We'll put the Gift on the Swamp. Net some life back here. Hopefully opponent will overextend just a little bit more here. Excellent. So Hour of Devastation is going to be absolutely that. Devastating. Don't know if opponent can actually recover from that, to be honest. We'll play out our Oasis so that we only need to get 1 desert here. Then we'll go Hour of Promise. And we'll get Arch of Orazka. And pretty much as usual, Scavenger Ground. Not sure they're actually playing anything that can recur, but just in case. No reason not to be careful. Vraska, that could be an issue. Yeah, making some pirates here. So we can attack. We could hash up Oasis. And attack. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. We could hash up Oasis on each of these and attack both at Vraska. They would chump block. She would go to 3. I do think we're attacking Vraska. Don't think we're going to Oasis, though. Yep. Very much expected that. I think we are going to spring, not with that land. We want blue left up, please. We'll grab another island. Play our mountain here. So we're 1 off of being able to mine, so I think we're going to spring again. Keep up Ether Meltdown here. Grab another red. And end the turn. Yep, just kind of treading water against Vraska here. Siphoner, okay. Not thrilled about it. Rishkar, okay. What are we putting counters on? Gotcha. I think we're going to melt down the siphoner, just in case we don't get an answer this turn. Cut, though, that's really good. So now I wish I'd have played the meltdown on Rishkar, but we didn't know we were going to draw that. So we can cut here, hash up Oasis and attack Vraska. They have to chump. That doesn't really get us much of anywhere. Let's mind. See what we draw. Struggle, that helps a bit, perhaps. So I think we have to cut Rishkar. Then we will attack Vraska. They'll chump again. If she ultimates, it's game over. She puts us to 1 life. And I think that they probably can manage to kill us from there. We'll play out our thematic compass. Yep, drawing cards with the siphoner. And they can still attack with it and get energy, even if it can't actually do any damage. Yep, there's another pirate. What we really need is another hour of devastation. Actually, really need 2 of them to deal with Vraska, but that's a whole different thing. No need to even turn it back. It's not going to deal damage. Yep, that's not what we need there. Let's cast Mind again. Also not another hour. They can put us to 1. They can't kill us this turn. Strange as it sounds, I think we need to struggle the siphoner. So let's do that. Stop them from drawing extra cards. Then we will thematic compass. And end the turn, and now we can at least stop these from killing us. Maybe they won't ultimate Vraska this turn. If they do ultimate Vraska, putting us to 1 and then can't kill us this turn, and we top deck a Sifter Wurm, that would be really bad for them. So yeah, looks like they aren't going to. Yep, there's another pirate. So if we don't draw an answer to one of these creatures or Vraska, we're dead. Yep. Guess we're drawing with Arch. That's really all we've got left to do. Spring is not going to cut it. 3. I mean, we could cast Mine. That would cast us. That would tap us completely out. Well, we will pass the turn and see if they go for it. If they ultimate Vraska, I'm just going to scoop, because that's game. Yep, we don't have anything. Good game, my friend. Our bluff failed. So against this deck, the bounce spells actually seem pretty good. So we're going to cut the meltdowns. We're going to cut the struggle to survives. And we're going to bring back in the consigns and the commits. I would still like to find room for Ballista, but I just don't know what to cut to put it in here. All the rest of this seems very good. Maybe cut 1 compass for a Ballista? Yeah, we'll try that. Alright, this is a great hand. We will keep it. We do need one more untapped land at some point if we want to go gift into our. Well, these are going to come into play tapped no matter what we do, so let's play the Memorial in the Desert out first. Well, Impulse is probably better for us than turn 1 Elf. Got a Gear Hulk, good to know about. There's another gift. Well, go ahead and play you. Duress. I imagine that they will take one of the Hour of Promises. Nope, took a gift. Interesting. Well, let's play the land that they know about. We'll gift onto it. Really expected them to take Hour of Promise. Maybe they've got a Lost Legacy to play this turn and take both of our Hours? That would be horrible for us. Please don't Lost Legacy me. Okay, that's not a Lost Legacy. Great. Okay, we've got 1 desert. So we need to fetch 2. They've got Scrap Heap. So we will get an Ipnu Rivulet. And the Scavenger Grounds. Get our zombies. You got nothing in there yet, so we will block. Alright, Jade Light Ranger, sure. Another Duress. Nope, left it on top. Yep, didn't mill it. Heaven to Earth is okay. I think our play here is definitely the Hour of Promise, though. So we can't also hold up Scavenger Grounds. Let's tap these. We want to keep red up. We want to keep a red up for Shivan Fire. And we don't need deserts this time, so let's grab Arch of Erazka. And actually, let's grab a Spire Bluff Canal. And we will pass the turn. Yep. Do you want Hour or Heaven? Probably not Heaven, because that would put Earth online without us actually having to pay a green to put it in the graveyard. Took the Hour, okay. Right, opponent is not attacking. So, we could take them off of Gear Hulk by memorialing one of their lands. That is, if they don't have a land and don't draw a land. The thing is, with Heaven to Earth, we don't super care about Gear Hulk, because we can just kill it. So I think what we're going to do is Shivan Fire this and swing. Play this with Kicker. Then we will attack. If they try to reanimate that Scrounger, we will pop Scavenger Grounds in response. Yep, let's activate that. We'll sack the Rivulet, since we would like the Scavenger Grounds to hang around. There's the Gear Hulk. Yep, he's a big old guy. So let's go Gift of Paradise on our mountain here. And we will attack. getting aggressive here. We're planning on sweeping the board next turn. Vraska, again, is a big problem. Luckily, we actually do have cards in the deck now to deal with her if we can just draw them.
Enough!
Alright, so they're not attacking with the Gear Hulk. Let's play this for 0. Then we can draw a card. Alright, that is not one of the cards that deals with them. So we can sweep the board. That leaves Vraska unchecked. I think we're going to draw a card first. That helps. That helps a lot. Let's go Hour of Promise. We'll grab 2 Hashep Oasises. And end the turn.
Show no mercy!
Yep, that's another pirate. Constrictor. Alright, no counter generator there. So they can block everything. Sadly, our zombies do not have menace like these pirates. So I think we have to Hour and Earth, which makes me very sad. I don't really see any way around it. So, yep. That will stop Vraska from ultimating. Go ahead and wipe the board, though she's going to start spitting out pirates again next turn. What we need is Consign to Oblivion or Commit to Memory.
Take no prisoners!
Or a Sifter Wurm into either one of those. Yep, there's an elf. And a pirate. And that's not something I want to see. Let's draw a card. There we go. That's a bit better. Regretting sacrificing our rivulet now. Let's put a stop on their upkeep and draw. We'll hit end the turn. We'll let them draw. Then we're going to commit Vraska. That way she's a card deeper than she would have been if we'd done it on our turn. Yep, going to get attacked for 3 here. Hopefully they don't have another Vraska in hand, or didn't draw one that turn. Ether Hub, sure. Alright, they didn't have it. Cut is very good. Let's draw first. Spring's also not horrible. Let's go ahead and cut this pirate. Then we will cast Spring. Grab another island. And end our turn. So Vraska's next turn. We may have to memory just to try to keep them from drawing her. Yep, that's a Siphoner. Yep, taking damage. What we really need is a Field of Ruin to force them to shuffle. That's not what that is. Let's go you. You and cycle. Oh, I'm sitting here like an idiot. Aren't I? 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we've got the game. I could have killed them last turn. I completely forgot about ribbons. Was so consumed with Vraska. Sorry for dragging that out, opponent. That was my oversight. I just know people are going to be yelling at me in the comments over that. Got way too tunnel vision on Vraska and could have just killed our opponent. But we got there in the end, so I guess all's well that ends well. Alright, so 4-0 with the deck in this run. As I said before, it does seem to be built to beat aggro in mid-range. I've had much less success when matched up against control and combos such as God Pharaoh's Gift and stuff like that, though you can still pull those games out. And here again is the deck list. And as always, there will also be a link to the deck list in the description below if you would like to check that out for yourself. If you're someone who's into big mana, spells, and creatures, this deck may just be right up your alley. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, let me know in the comments, and by leaving a like below, it really does help tremendously. And of course, subscribe if you'd like to see more in the future. I have been Tevaron, and until next time, friends, be excellent to each other.